Ayuk right. They motion McCaffrey backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco. He can run. He can catch.
Getting on fire.
Christian McCaffrey can throw. Schultz to the other. Going to throw out left. Intercepted. Diamador Lenore.
Whoa,
Dak
what a
Prescott
play.
just threw him the ball on the outcut going left to CeeDee Lamb. Diamador Lenore comes up with the game's first big play. Here's Prescott back. Has time. Throws out left, intercepted. Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner. Jimmy Ward tipped the ball, and Fred Warner with the INT. They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown! San Francisco! He has thrown one, he has caught one, he has run one.
Hey,
Breezy, greedy, this that 9
Mo's nose. Peachy, fair to go. It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's nose, Peachy, Breezy, and fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorilla, silverback, nah, silver
You know it's
hawks.
busting good discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's nose, and fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall.
Nitty gritty, it's the Niners talk. That it just got a bop. Mo's, Peachy,
Nah, for real.
what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Shout out to everybody. Welcome to Nitty Gritty Niners Talk. It's Monday night, and you know what time it is. I'm excited. We're gonna get back to Niner football. I gotta check in with the Nitty Gritty crew. Peachy, how you doing, Mo's? Wagwan me youth.
Doing pretty good today. It actually was a manic Monday for a change. It was kind of a chill Monday, so.
All right, chill is good. Peachy,
Yep.
chill is good. Mose, how you doing, fam?
Glad to be here with y'all, so I don't have to cuss nobody else out today.
Yeah, because I was going to be cussing you out probably all episode every time I see Joe Burrow throw a touchdown, because just my luck.
Mm-hmm.
The motherfucking got 0 touchdowns all season. He got like 1. And just my luck, because I'm playing Mose, I'll be 0-3 in that league. Shout out to Mose for knowing that Joe Burrow was going to play, even though never mind. I don't even want to get into
They kept
fantasy
holding it
football.
very close to the vest like he wasn't going to. So,
I hope he sucked tonight, yo. Like I really
literally
do.
lost like 3 leagues because of him, but it's all
He's
good.
on my bench in 3 leagues too, Peachy.
Mine too.
Except for the one Mose got him in. But guys, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Look, I wanna have an evaluative type of a show. I want to talk about the 49ers and their strengths and their weaknesses. And I know it's still early. I know they're still finding out and searching for that true identity. I think that's by design, but I want to go through the strengths and weaknesses of the offense, the defense, and the special teams. So, guys, we're going to have a fun episode, all right? We probably won't be before you too long, probably give you a nice little power hour, and we'll touch a little bit with the Niners and the Cardinals coming up this week. I mean, how does that sound? That sounds good to you guys?
It sounds
right.
great.
Got
So
the thumbs up.
I would like to say this one thing. Thank God for Keenan Allen, because he is saved
He
like
won't-
4 of my leagues by himself.
He keep playing
Listen,
like that.
Keenan Allen, the only reason why I might beat Breezy tonight.
Yeah, he keep playing like that. He won't be around week 7, 8, 9.
And now that Mike
10.
Will's gone, then
I think
they're
that
gonna have
rookie-
more
Yeah.
focus on him.
Yeah, and I think the
So
rookie will get
that's-
his touches now. So this
yeah.
might be a chance for Quentin Johnson to step up. I'm just giving everybody a shout out. If I see the members of the BB Club, our crew, I'm gonna go ahead and put
Yeah.
y'all things up there, man. So just wanted to shout everybody out. I see Steven says, Wayne, who you rather win tonight, Eagles or Tampa? I'm going with Tampa. I don't want to see the Eagles win.
Right,
Hey,
that's what I'm
Nelly.
saying. Like who?
I don't
who
want to
wants
see
that?
the Eagles win. He says, no, dog, I got Chase and Higgins. Listen, I want them to get touchdowns, just not from Joe Burrow. I never said I ain't want them to
Right.
score.
Right.
Hope they run all
I
their
left
touchdowns.
Chase in there. Like left Chase in
Ah,
there.
boy. Here we go. What happened, Mose?
No, it was a good catch by Bucks receiver by Chris Godwin, but he was out of
Oh, that
bounds.
was a great catch. It was just out of bounds. I didn't know which game you was watching.
Yeah.
My bad. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get down to it. Listen, we got some new 49ers updates and things like that we definitely want to talk about. If you guys have been sleeping under a rock, I just want to remind you that the 49ers are in first place in the NFC.
Right.
And they'll be tied for first place in the NFC after tonight. That's crazy. So the winner out of the Bucks and the Eagles game will tie with the 49ers. 49ers were the first team at 3-0. Just want to put that out there for those that don't know.
Yes.
Let's go over the injury report. Deebo Samuel has the shoulder injury. Greenlaw with the ankle. Ambry Thomas still with the knee. Demetrius Flanagan Fowles with the ankle. And Jawan Jennings, I did report he was just sidelined today. So he was on the sideline. It didn't say that he had a specific injury per Matt Barrows. He was just on the sideline. Now, I will talk about Dre Greenlaw, and I believe Jawan Jennings were practicing like on the sideline, even though they didn't participate in today's bonus practice.
Yes.
But there was no Debo, and we got a big game coming up this week, divisional game.
Yep.
How concerned are you guys about Debo's ribs?
Are we swapping
Pause.
out one receiver for the other? Is that what's going on here?
I hope
Are we
not.
gonna have like one this week and then one this weekend? Is that what's going on here? Is
I
that what we're
think
doing?
that could be what's going on. You know why? Because the balance is Christian McCaffrey,
Yes.
right? So you have him to balance out in the middle, and then you just I just want the team to be full throttle every single week.
And it also gives Bell a chance to get some more burn whenever one of them's missing too.
It does give him a chance and opportunity.
Yes.
You did hear Kyle Shanahan say, they asked him, oh, so did Bell earn? He was like, Bell was making this team like regardless. Like he didn't have to earn anything. We knew what we was getting in Bell.
Yes.
Like that's crazy that Kyle
Yes.
Shanahan said that. It's like he didn't have to earn anything. He didn't have to go out
Because
there and prove anything.
a lot of times we remember, well, when we finally found out what Ayuk, like the problem was, is that he was in Kyle's doghouse. But Kyle would always be like, yeah, I'm not gonna, say all these things that you guys want me to say and all this stuff or whatever. But then we found out why.
Yeah. I thought Ayuk balled out his rookie year.
I did too.
So to go into a doghouse, like, confused the hell out of me. But again, no Debo today. But the other guys didn't practice either, but they were there on the sideline. But for the practice report, we did have Brandon Ayuk back. Not sure how. It wasn't like a heavy practice coming back off of their little mini bye weekend and their victory. But he was back at practice, and he looks like he's going to be a green light to go. Mose, any concerns about Debo and his ribs?
No, because I mean he came back and finished playing in the game. I think they just want to kind of rest him up. We have the extended time since we played on Thursday night. So yeah, just make sure that he's 100% and ready to go. I feel like it's not that bad where he won't play.
Do you think the ribs hurt more during the game or after the game, like when they might have been more inflamed?
After the game, when you take the pads off and that adrenaline calms down, that's why they like when they say like if you're actively playing a sport and you twist your ankle, they say don't take your shoe off because as soon as you take that shoe off, that swelling begins. So I feel like a rib injury, you take those pads off, you get in the shower, then you kind of start feeling the effects of it. So
all right,
definitely not
well,
during the game.
Listen, it's the Cardinals now. When you play in the Cardinals, listen, there's some bright things to talk about playing these birds. I can tell you that right now. Now, I do know it's a divisional game. I know we're going to get a new coach, new offensive coordinator, new look Cardinals, new quarterback we got to face. Joshua Dobbs is a little bit mobile. Okay, he can move around in and out of the pocket. He's looking to throw the ball down the field. But he now has to play a Niners defense that don't let the quarterbacks throw the ball down the field. They're going to force him to be accurate So I'm hoping everybody's starting to get used to Steve Wilkes' defense. I think after the second week of seeing them kind of struggle against that short pass and then make that proper adjustment,
Yeah.
I think I'm starting to grasp the concept and the identity of what Steve Wilkes wants. Don't get beat deep, give up the underneath, but make the tackle. Like, make sure you're there, hit him hard, hit him high, hit him low, what you got to do. Hopefully we'll start seeing some of those footballs pop out like as fumbles. Like that's what I'm thinking we're going to get to at some point. So I think that's the identity we're getting from the defense. I'm still confused on the offense. I think that's how Kyle Shanahan wants it to be. You know you're going to get Christian McCaffrey, but then where else you going to get hit with? And I think that's the cool part. Like, there's no identity on the offense as of yet, other than the fact that teams will shut up. The Giants tried to take out Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
The Rams tried to take out Christian McCaffrey. I don't know what the hell the Steelers was trying to do, but I'm sure they tried to take out Christian McCaffrey. And maybe you just can't take him out. I mean, you can limit him a little bit, but I think he's that balance, and then he's that centerpiece, and then he allows everybody else to kind of like flourish. So I got some bright spots when we start talking about the Cardinals, so I think that's pretty cool. Listen, Anthony Brown, defensive back, the 49ers now. The story was interesting, right? So the Niners signed him. Then they release him after they bring up Trey Swilling to put him on the roster to make room for Trey Swilling. Anthony Brown goes bye-bye. And then they bring up Shamar John Charles to the active roster for the game for the Ambry Thomas being inactive. And then all of a sudden, after the game, like immediately after the game, like I don't even think they waited did they wait to the pressers? Like, it literally, did it happen during the game? All I know is Trey Swilling was released and Anthony Brown was re-signed.
It almost seemed like a handshake agreement. Like, hey, just hang on for just a couple of hours. You'll be right back on this squad, man.
That was great. I said, listen, man, we're not going to let you rock this week. But I tell you what, man, just be ready for the call.
Right.
I got you on my two-way. We're going to hit you up right after the game.
Don't be talking to the other team. We got you. You will be back.
I love it. Mose, what are your thoughts on Anthony Brown, man? I feel like I never really got a chance to ask you how you feel about this signing, and what will he be able to bring to this team?
I mean, it's a risky signing, right? We're bringing a guy back off of a torn Achilles injury. So we all know that, you know, how those can be, that those are really, really tough to come back from. Prior to the injury, he was one of the guys that was known to have a lot of speed. When he was with Dallas, he did play a lot of press man coverage, and I feel like that's where he excels. He can get a little handsy. He does, and to use a Stephen A. Smith, where he does have the proclivity to be called for, a holding or a pass interference penalty. Yes. And that's something that, we seem to be very familiar with, as Daniel Garcia, mentions, Josh Norman.
Hey, wait a minute, Mo. I got to add this disclaimer to that, Mose, because right now, you know who lead the team in penalties on the defense? His name is a cornerback. Guess which cornerback it is? Trying to get you to guess.
Is it? It's not Ambry, is it?
Nope. Ambry ain't played. That boy played 44 snaps. It definitely ain't Ambry.
Is it Ward? Is it Mooney?
It ain't Mooney Ward. No.
It can't be Demo. Is Demo?
It's Demo. Like, the dude he leads the team with 3 penalties on the defense. And it's like, I felt like a lot of his penalties were super subjective.
Was it one
like
a
they
game?
didn't have. I think so. I think he has one a game. Now, when does that stop? You know what I'm saying? Because he better not have 17 penalties, but he getting one a game. That's the trend, right?
Nah, that's the trend. If he getting one a game, that means by the end of the season he should have 17. When does that stop? It stops when he realizes that he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt. That's when it stops.
Yeah, but
when he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt because he's not one of those names. He's not Jair Alexander. He's not Pat Surtain.
Oh, I see what you're
he's
saying.
not one of these the top flight elite corners that might be able to get away with some of the nuanced stuff that some of the better corners do. One, because they can kind of mask it a little bit, but two, because they've built a cachet of being a great player. So because they're a great player, there's obviously no possible way, unless it was a blatant foul, that could have been a pass interference. So until he starts to realize that he's not going to get that benefit of the doubt call, and I'll be let's keep it a buck. And we talked about this on the Overreaction show on Thursday. I don't feel like that pass interference call against Darren Waller should have been called on him. No. So obviously there are going to be some he might get that we disagree with, and that clearly was one of them. But I think once he starts to realize that and he can adjust his game and make tweaks in his game so that he's not getting those calls, I think he'll be fine.
So speaking of Pat Surtain, before I forget, did you guys see that where Jerry Rice and his son said that it sounds like that Pat Surtain should find another home? That he should come to the Niners.
Really?
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Because apparently they might be making some they gotta clean some stuff out. They gotta do something. So
listen,
if they start cleaning house or whatever. So Jerry Rice and Rice Jr. are all in favor of Surtain being the first one that comes to the 49ers.
I mean,
I know.
I'll take it.
I literally was like, hear me out. Let's do this.
Because wait, don't we have a first round pick now?
Uh-huh.
Don't we finally have a first round pick?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And we got a lot of extra picks on the back end of the draft.
Denver gonna be doing like this. Denver gonna be doing like you do in space. The way they pull it, they're gonna be throwing these players around.
I mean, we got like 10 third-round picks. I say F them picks.
Right.
Hey. And it's the 49ers MO, right? You want to know why John Lynch was extended? It's because of stuff like this.
Right.
And who does he have ties with?
Mm-hmm.
The Denver Broncos,
That's
right?
Broncos organization.
And so, like, this might be something to look forward, look into. You know what I'm saying? Like, the 49ers always make a midseason trade.
Always. Mm-hmm.
If the 49ers get
right.
Surtain.
Exactly.
Now,
what you want to do? Want to be ballers?
Pat Surtain is the hot name.
Okay.
Do we want to go after him, or do we prioritize right tackle?
I'm giving Steve Wilks.
I'm giving from McKivitz.
Nope, absolutely not. I'm giving Steve Wilks
for the playoff push.
Nope. I'm giving Steve Wilks all the tools he needs.
Exactly.
He's a cornerback guy, a secondary guy, and that could be a guy.
Yeah.
I'm giving him that. I think the pass rush will grow into its own. I think McKivitz will be just fine over time. Just like Jake Brendel was last year. I think McKivitz makes that leap after week 5, 6. And next thing you know, you start to see that continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Spencer Burford, believe it or not, seems more like the weakest link on that right side. But the only reason is because he's not next to that veteranship from Mike McGlinchey anymore. Yes. So now he's getting a newbie that's never played the position or started at the position, excuse me. So, yeah, like, look. Passer 10.
I'll take it.
With Mooney Ward,
that,
and then you could put DMO in the slot.
I want to get him out of the AFC.
He's not going to the AFC.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And just like Breezy said, like, we have so many ties with Denver, like close ties with Denver. Like, I could live to see it happen. We've dealt with Denver before.
That's it.
We've dealt with Denver a lot, as a matter of fact.
That's what I need.
Let's do it.
Then the defense.
CB1,
let's
Ward,
do
CB2,
it. See, everybody keeps saying we need this. Like, here's my thing about the offensive line. the Kyle Shanahan's offense isn't meant for the offensive line to block for 4 seconds. Like it's just not that offense. It's not the develop, the throw. Now we run the ball very well, and when we do that, you get a couple of extra seconds from the play action pass. You know what I'm saying? Offensive line can hold their own. I feel like McKivitz will be fine. I just think what right tackle can you trade for, or would you want that's at the level of what Pat Surtain can be for this defense? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, so, and you know what? I like when people put some stuff out there. And Liar says, didn't Surtain get lit up for 70 points, though? All right, so, I mean, can you, let's talk about this.
Surtain, last time I checked, there's 10 other people on defense.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't, I just put that on one person.
That's why the Denver Broncos are 0-3.
Yes,
because they must expect Pat Surtain to stop a Miami Dolphins offense by himself from putting up 70 points. That's why the Broncos are 0-3.
It's not like, I mean, he had to defend Tyreek Hill for 60 minutes. And then it's the way they lined up Tyreek Hill. So it's not like straight up man where he's just on him. Tyreek was in the slot. Tyreek was all over the daggone field.
Tyreek was everywhere.
They moved him everywhere.
Everywhere.
And real talk, Tyreek wasn't really the one that was putting up all the points. Mostert had 4 touchdowns. And A-Chain
had 4 touchdowns.
So the running backs themselves had 8 touchdowns.
So Adam Schefter said that he wanted everybody to get his name, that A-Chain wanted everybody to know to get his name right. It's A-Chan. It's not A-Chain.
Well, then he need to take the damn E off his name.
So they literally put it out there. He said, since he's going to be balling like this, it's time for people to know his name, how to say his name.
That's fine. I'm cool.
That came from Schefter, though?
It was Schefter or one of the reporters. That might be wrong, but it was one of them.
So I'll tell you this much. I wanted to know how to pronounce his name, so I looked up a press conference that he had when he was in college.
I think I remember you telling me
on that video that I watched, he said A-Chain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe they have
C-H-A-I-N. He said A-Chain.
I mean, which is
I
what I thought because of
that's
the
what I heard him say.
Right.
Like, I didn't make that up. I looked up a video.
Yeah, I believe you
him
too.
Saying his own name.
Mm-hmm.
So
it makes sense.
But if he's telling me it's something different now, then
I'm
not taking it.
I'll go back and look at that to make sure. But I do remember them saying that people were pronouncing it wrong, and everyone that I've heard pronounce it says A-Chain. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna have to see what's up with that. But anyway, A-Chain's a bad dude.
A-Chain. They used to say A-Chain, like A-H, like Devon A-Chain.
Gotcha.
And in a press conference, that's when he said A-Chain.
Okay. Gotcha.
Look, whoever he is, he balled out. Like
he did. He balled out big time.
He was cooking.
He had like 50-something fantasy points.
And so listen, man, you got Mostert speed and then
his speed. A-Chain 4.32.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. I'm not even going to front, but I want to see them against a real defense. I want to see them play in with a defense that's not afraid to hit. You know, there's several ways you can negate that speed. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just punch the speed right where it starts. Don't even let it get going.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, the last time they played the Niners, they didn't have A-Chain or whatever, but the last time they played the 49ers, what did we do to that speed? First play, got burnt with speed. I wouldn't even say Trent Sherfield is speed. That was more like a trickery type of a play, but he was wide open. I think Talanoa Hufanga bit on whatever, and next thing you know, he's off to the races for like an 81-yard touchdown. But after that, they slowed that speed all the way down. So look, Dolphins look good, no doubt about it. Great 3-0 team. I wouldn't expect anything less from a Mike McDaniels team. I just wouldn't. He's from here. He's under this tutelage. Kyle Shanahan tried it with speed. Remember? We tried Mostert. We tried Breida.
Exactly.
They just kept getting hurt. Now all of a sudden Mostert's staying healthy. Fuck out of here.
It just I was listening to something today, and they were talking about that these runs. The reason why that they were so successful in the run is because Denver was so slow in their defense that by the time they turned around, like they were already past them, and that's why they couldn't. And see, there's one thing about us. See, we're not gonna, especially since we're very familiar with it. It definitely would not be the same. And I don't think, since it's been so long since an NFL team put up 70. I'm trying to remember how many years ago they said it was when they did that. Mm-hmm. But it's sure like ain't nobody gonna put up 70 on this team. So on the 49ers. So
Ralph,
it's not happening.
You make a great point, Ralph. No single high safety against Miami. Play a lot of cover 2, a lot of cover 3. Listen, we gonna take away the run and force Tua to make the play.
Yes,
that's the MO. Mm-hmm. That's the MO. I think you'll see some single high safety, and then you might see the second safety drop back into like a robber type of position or something like that. But at the end of the day, the Rams scored. At the end of the day, like we won't see it until the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You won't see it to the Super Bowl. Now let's talk about the 49ers, right? Because I feel like they're in a good place. I mean, after 3 games, they seem pretty decent where they're ranked and things like that. Now, I want to talk about the defense because we're going to start with the defense, and then we're going to go with the strengths and weaknesses of the defense. And before we do that, Mose, I'm just going to give you a little data on where we are as of right now. Now, I know we got 4 teams currently playing, and so this stuff probably won't be updated as of right now, but we'll take it from where it is. Now, the Niners, okay, are at just like that. The Niners are number 5. Oh, no, that's offense. Let me get to defense. They're number 3 in giving up in yards per game. So at 258.3. All right. Far as passing, I think they're ranked 14th. As far as rushing, they're ranked 3rd. And as far as points per game, they're ranked 5th. They're ranked 5th, all right? So they give up about 14 points per game. The number 1 team is the Cleveland Browns, giving up 10.7. We actually play them. Their defense is pretty solid, but we play them in a couple of weeks, so that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out or how they stand pat. Buffalo will be 2, the Cowboys 3, Kansas City 4, 49ers 5th, and as far as points per game, the defense is balling out. Like they have. Let's go to the good parts of the defense. This is the best part: the turnovers. As far as takeaways, the Niners are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're ranked 10th with 5 takeaways. Now they're tied, even though they're ranked 10th. They're tied with the Colts, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Cardinals, y'all, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Washington Commanders with a total of 5 takeaways. All right, so that's fumbles and interceptions put together. So we have 5 interceptions on the year, no fumble recoveries on the year as of right now. So that's where the defense is standing. They're top 10 overall. What are your thoughts about the defense, Mose? What are some of the weaknesses on the defense and some of the strengths on the defense?
Yeah, I mean, running off those stats it's hard to kind of find a weakness, but we got some. We're gonna talk about some. Obviously, one of our first strengths I'll start with is our defensive line. Our defensive line has been playing really, really solid over the first 3 weeks. Does it have our sacks?
I have the sacks.
Here?
We have I got the sacks for you right here. We have a total of 8 sacks so far. So the defense has 79 pressures. They have 9 penalties, 79 pressures. Those pressures include 8 sacks, 13 hits, and 58 hurries. All right. On those pressures. So the Niners they're getting pressure to the quarterback for sure.
So we have 5 against the Steelers. We had 1 against the Rams. Mm-hmm. And then we had 2 against the Giants. And the 2 against the Giants that we had came from, our 2 high-priced defensive linemen, one Nick Bosa and one Javon Hargrave. So having those two get on the stat sheet, against the Giants, that proved what a strength we have in this defensive line. That any given day that this team is on the field, one of those guys, Armstead, Hargrave, Bosa, Farrell, Jackson, even our backups, Givens, Kinlaw, Hyder, those guys can get to the quarterback. So I think for this defense, that's the first strength that I'll talk about is just the defensive line and how consistent they've been. When you talk about the statistics of the defense, what are we in yards allowed on running and rushing?
Okay, so our rush defense.
We're fourth. We've only given up 159 yards on the ground.
I think we're.
And even that sounds like a lot because against Pittsburgh, we only gave up 41.
Right. We got beat a lot. I think the most we gave up was the Los Angeles Rams game.
Rams game we gave up 89.
Yards. Yeah.
But that's still under 90.
Yeah.
And then against the Giants, we gave up I couldn't do quick math.
So this is gonna change.
Giants we only give up 29.
Right. So just know that this is gonna change after tonight's game. So the Niners
sure.
might be ranked second.
I'm just talking about what we gave up.
Yeah,
159. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Like we had 140 against the Giants. We had 188 again. Like we're giving up less than what we have, combined. So as far as run defense, we thought some part of our defense would take a step back. It's not our run defense. Our run defense is still really, really good.
Correct.
3 straight games holding teams under 100 yards. We were able to keep the Rams under 90. Giants left them with 29. So that front four, our defensive line, the rotation, coaching by Chris Kosaric, that's the first strength that I'm going to point out on the defense.
And I like when you look at the run defense. I mean, man, 35 tackles. They're getting it in. They're not getting beat. Remember how we saw them get gashed up in the preseason? We kept telling people, listen, the guys aren't out there yet. Like the starters aren't out there to get gashed up. I will say that the only concern that I saw was on film with the rush defense, the run defense, was in last week's game on the touchdown that they gave up. And when I looked at the 1st and 8, it was 1st and 8 on the goal line. And I watched Matt Breida kind of carry the defense into the end zone. All right. And I was a little concerned about it because if you go back and you watch the film, you're going to see, you know what? I could pull up the film. Give me a second. You're going to see Fred Warner. I don't know when that freaking happens, so it's going to take me forever to find it. But you're going to see Fred Warner kind of miss his gap and overplay the gap. And it was just like, dang, Fred knew it was a run, but he overplayed to where he thought where the running back was going to go. And then Breida kind of kept it cutting back to the opposite way. And then boom, once Tashawn Gibson got there, it was like a second too late. And Breida's momentum carried him right into the end zone. That was the only kind of mishap. They wouldn't have even gave up that touchdown for the run. And then the Kyron Williams, that's another thing. And I didn't even break that one down. Shout out to Chrissy 1687 in the building. 9 months. Hey fam. What's going on, Chrissy? Hope you're doing well out there. And thank you for tuning in. While you guys talk more about the weaknesses, let me go up and see if I can pull up that play, Mose, because I want you to see what I'm talking about and just, kind of correct me on air if I'm wrong or not.
Got it. I mean, another strength I'll point out, obviously, with this defense is our linebacking core. Fred Warner leading the charge. He's playing like a man with his hair on fire. You've coined him the Predator. He is playing lights out. And I think the rest of our linebackers are following suit. Oren Burks played well last week against the Giants, made a couple of key tackles. Drake Greenlaw is doing his thing as he always does. If I do have to point out a weakness with the linebacking core, this is going to be an individual weakness, and it's going to be Drake Greenlaw. And I don't know how you fix it because I love the way that he plays. I love the tenacity and the aggression that he plays with. But he seems to always find himself in a situation where he's getting that 15-yard penalty. It's gotten to a point now where we expect it to happen. We don't know when it's going to come because every game is different. But whenever we see a flag and our defense is on the field, a lot of the times we're thinking personal foul, 15-yard penalty on number 57. So if I have to point out a weakness in that position group on our defense, it's just the fact that Dre Greenlaw, you want them to play to and through the whistle, but then there's that after the whistle aspect that he's always playing, and it's a gift and a curse because one thing that you can never say about Dre Greenlaw is that his motor is inconsistent. Dre Greenlaw's motor is always on. Yeah,
always.
His motor is nonstop. But I think he needs to find a way to what they call it, to improve on what they call in football controlled aggression, right? You got to be aggressive, but you need to be under control. So that's one weakness that I could point out from the linebacker core. I think everybody's is playing well. I feel like some of the mishaps we've seen in coverage. Now, I don't think we've been tested as much as we could have so far this season. The Giants used Darren Waller more on the outsides to take advantage of his size more than they used him, up the seam and over the middle. So our linebackers haven't been tested that much yet this season. We're only 3 games in. So we haven't seen any of the coverage mishaps that we've seen in previous years. So if I have to point out a weakness with the linebackers, I'm going to have to say just Drake Greenlaw being a little bit over aggressive at some points.
Yeah, I mean, you see it out there, right? Peace, like we're just like, it's just like we're like, no. Especially on that one because it was like, I for half a second he thought about it. He thought about not doing it, and then he did it anyway because he didn't hear the whistle. I think that's what it was, and technically there was no whistle. It's just that it looked like with Mooney Ward having him wrapped up that forward progress was going to be called, but to his defense, he didn't hear a whistle, but he stuttered and then took right off. That dude's speed is ridiculous, yo. I thought Quan Alexander was fast. Drake Greenlaw flies around the field, like flies. I'm just praying he stay healthy. You can get all the 15-yard penalties you want. Just don't miss a game.
Right.
Don't miss a game.
No
Please don't miss a game because he's definitely out there. Now, I think I found it. I think I'm spot on. And I was able to find it. Shout out to Lucky Me. All right, we're going to go back a little bit. And, Diamador Lenore, oh, poor guy. Poor guy. All right, so that was the play. We were just talking about that. So I want to show you guys the 1st and 8. Now, you can see, like, the 49ers, the defense that they're in. They got the 4 guys down up front. They got the linebackers up there right in the middle. You can see the 2 linebackers right there in the middle. And then you got your cornerbacks that's going to be covering. They got 2 guys stacked to the left with Slayton out here, which is Mooney Ward's going to pick them up. So they got I see 1 tight end out there. So this looks like 11 personnel with 3 wideouts from the Giants' perspective. You can see Matt Breida lined up deep single back there. I'm curious to see what happens. Does their tight end go in some type of emotion to start the nope. So all right, here we go. So that's going to be the kick down on Kevin Givens. I believe that's number 90 right there. You can just see the tight end take him out. Look at Fred though. I want y'all to pay attention to Fred. Fred sees that dude eyes on the ball, like on the ball. And so what happens is he misses. The lineman kind of gets him off of his position. So I think that's what happened. And there's the missed tackle. And you could see how, like, dang, if Fred would have just found a way to stay, like, right where he was.
Yeah, take it back a little bit.
I'm trying.
With your player, can you slow it down?
Yeah, I could slow it down. Give me a second.
Like play it at like half speed.
Let's go speed. Let's go slow. Now you see he takes the jump.
So he comes up.
He sheds the blocker.
And it looks like he was anticipating
the run up the middle.
Not even that. I think he was anticipating that guy to get more hands on him. So I guess he was maybe bracing for that impact.
A bigger hit. Yes.
Right. I think he was bracing for that. And because it didn't come, it kind of threw off his timing.
That's all it was.
Because I feel like if he would have gotten blocked with the impact that he thought was coming, that would have really
been
pushed him into that hole. He would have been there. So I think he stepped up. He saw the guy coming. He was bracing for that, kind of like trying to get off of that, and then just the timing wasn't right.
And this is, to me, like, they're gonna watch this play over and over again, over again. You know what I mean?
And then I feel like Gip was late.
Gip was late, but the momentum was there. Like, even if Gip got there, Breida runs him over. If you look at it, you're just like, okay, Breida's got all the momentum. So if you look at it again, he was late, and then Greenlaw was coming from. Greenlaw was kind of like out of the play, but he tries to stay in the play. So
he goes up, he gets blocked.
Yeah, he gets the lineman on him, and see Gip's got to shoot that.
Yeah, he's not coming downhill fast enough for me. So
no,
Gip is at like between the 1 and the 2. Gip should be at the 3-yard line by now.
There you go.
Because he had a clean path right to Breida, 31 on 31.
And look at that, and then Breida makes the cut.
Right, so Gip stops at like the 1.5, 2.
Yeah,
and then by that time, Dre is already on his back, and like you said, like you mentioned, momentum is already carrying him into the end zone.
To me, I brought this play up because I know there were some penalties. You talked about that being a weakness. I'm not saying that this is a weakness for the 49ers. This was really the only bad play, in my opinion, on defense. And it was
now. Do you think it would have been different had that not been Kevin Givens? Do you think that would have been different if that was Armstead or if that was Hargrave?
The way Kevin Givens got blocked on that, bro. All right, let's go back to it one more time. Sorry, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Make sure you hit the like button while we go back and forth. And this is what we're here for. We're gonna check out a player too. I told you we'll give you some little bit of film analysis or whatnot. Watch Givens just get blocked by the tight end. So he's on the guard is kicking out. I mean, the center is kicking out.
Mm-hmm.
You got number 60, the guard, kicking out too. I don't think it would have mattered. Look at the way the tight end angled on that defensive tackle.
It's kind of like a variation of like a 0-1 trap.
Yeah, and I don't think he would have been able to see. He didn't see it.
Yeah.
Now he does a great move.
He did great job spinning off to try to get off of it. Great job.
But he's too late.
But Breida's so fast that by the time he gets squared up, Breida's already past him.
There you go. Now, if that was Armstead and he was able to do that move, would he have the arm length? I don't know.
To reach out and grab him.
Yeah.
Reach out and
touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. Hey, if you can. All right, Mose. Great job breaking down the defense, the weaknesses, the strengths.
I got one more. I got one more.
You got one more.
I got one more group.
Oh, cornerbacks.
I got to touch the secondary.
There you go.
Got to touch it. I'm going to touch them as a whole because I feel like a strength is our safeties. We were kind of worried about, how Gip was going to play. Mm-hmm. He's the elder statesman of the room. Gip, to me, is still playing at a high level.
All pro level, bro.
He's not getting beat. He's where he needs to be. He's communicating with his guys. Gip is playing at a high level. We know Huff is picking up right where he left off, getting his hands on the football, creating turnovers. If I'm going to have to point out a weakness, it would have to be our cornerbacks. And although Mooney has a turnover, although Demo has an interception, Demo has probably been playing the best out of, our cornerback group so far. There is a little bit of inconsistency within that group. Obviously, you talked about Demo leading the team in penalties with 3, even though I don't agree with one of them. And then injuries, health. We Ambry Thomas going down, Samuel Womack going down. We haven't been able to see Darrell Luter Jr. yet. We bring in Swilling and Jean Charles. Both of those guys have penalties at crucial points in the game on Thursday night. And now we got Anthony Brown in, and we don't know what we're going to get from him. Isaiah Oliver played great against the Rams. He didn't have, much of an impact against the Giants. So we're still trying to wait to see a little bit more consistency from him. So again, like you talked about before, it's hard to find weaknesses on a defense that is playing so well. But also, we know that we're going to face some better teams and some better offenses. And the health and inconsistent play of our cornerback group is something that we do have to discuss, because there may be a game down the road where, the lack of bodies and the inconsistent play, can cost us a W.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that we need to examine.
Can I make mention of this? Like after Mooney and Diamador Lenore leads the team in targets too, so it's at 26. Ward is at 23, right? The linebackers are targeted high, like 19 for Greenlaw, 16 for Fred Warner. They're targeted more than the damn. You're not getting your safeties in one-on-one coverage, but dang, like they're setting up. Fred Warner has the same amount of targets as Isaiah Oliver at 16.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to know who's given up the most reception rate, it would be Oren Burks, but he only played, he's only seen 5 targets, but in the run game, he's been a monster, right? Then
now, what's the context of those targets, though?
I mean, so
is it all tight ends over the middle, or is it
it's like running backs, it's the wide receivers,
running backs?
Yeah, like it's if they're playing zone and that guy's in their area and they're giving
anybody in their zone. Okay,
okay, yeah. So and that's why you never see the linebackers' grades relatively high on PFF. You ever notice that? You be like, yo, Fred Warner, because lights out. Dude had like 35 tackles. Yeah, but he gave up 5 catches too. And they grade that heavily. Of course he's going to give up 5 catches. Now, if you match a man-to-man, that's different. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when he's playing zone, of course they're going to give up. That's why I be like, the nickel back is always going to give up those targets. I don't care. If the man, zone, like they're just going to give up the catches because their job is to not get beat over the top. They're going to, guys in this nickel slot, what they running? Slants, quick slants, all those quick ins, outs, those routes. So you're going to see that. But I just thought it was interesting that our linebackers technically are doing a lot of pass coveraging for the team, and that's why we have a specific type of linebacker that you need on this team. Now, as far as stops, I know you talked a little bit about Mooney Ward. Dre Greenlaw leads with stops at 5. Mooney Ward is Mooney Ward, Fred Warner, and Drake Jackson. Diamador Lenore and Dre Greenlaw are tied with first with 5. And then those 3 other guys I mentioned are tied for second with 4 stops. Those are tackles for losses. This team can tackle. I know we see missed tackles, but overall, this team is getting it done on the defense. So it's definitely hard to find weaknesses.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Why do you think some of the faithful are getting frustrated with the defense that we're seeing from Steve Wilks? Because if you ask me, it looks a lot like bend but don't break.
It's all bend but don't break. So what I try to paint the picture for,
and when Salah was here, and he said bend but don't break.
I don't get it. I don't know what they expected Steve Wilkes to do. We got to remember, he's coming into this team his first year. He has his philosophies, but he's not trying to change up everything. He's not trying to change up the mentality and the way or the mantra of the 49ers defense. Those players, a lot of the players on defense are veterans. They know what they got to do. He's just trying to add in and own in on that secondary because it's young. And I feel like that's where his influence is going. And you're seeing better play out of you just raved about Diamador Lenore. Diamador Lenore is having an amazing year. It's just that he got to figure out how to get rid of those penalties so that his gameplay can speak for itself, opposed to, the penalties from the ref. So once that happens, dude's leading team in tackles, as a quarterback. This dude is all over the field. He definitely has that mentality. I think that's what you're seeing. When you talk about bend, don't break, the Niners are going to play over the top coverage. Guys are going to play. They're going to play two safeties at the top, too deep, right? They'll switch to single high, but it's so interchangeable. It happens so fast. You be like, damn, what's going on? But the Niners, literally, are not getting beat deep. And they're going to give up the underneath route, and then they adjust. So it starts early where they're giving up all these dink and dunk catches, and then they make this adjustment where they clamp down. They play a little more press man, and then all of a sudden they start the blitzing. And then the Niners defense turns up. So we got to just kind of give Steve Wilkes the benefit of the doubt and some time. The defense is still in the top echelon of defenses in the NFL, right? Being different. They're still in the top. They're still in the top. So just give them a little time. Give them a little time. Peachy, let's get to this offense. This is why people come out they buy tickets to games. Where do you want to start? Strengths, weaknesses?
We can start with the offensive strengths first. So according to this, if this is up to date, we are 5th. We have the 5th ranked offense. Yeah, the total team offensive stats. If that goes through this last game, then we're ranked 5th, which is really good. We
average about 300, right under 400 yards per game. Yep.
Yes, correct. That's where we are. So that's pretty awesome. And then we have was looking at some of the players that we have, and I don't know where it went, but anyway. Oh, here it is. So Brock Purdy has 736 yards so far in 3 games. So that's not bad. That's in the middle.
So what makes him a strength to you?
I just think that he's a strength because I feel like that he's really intelligent and he knows where to put the football, even though, he might have some overthrows, but what quarterback doesn't have overthrows? Especially what we're watching right now. Monday Night Football shows you that. So, but he seems to know how to get it to his playmakers and let them do the rest. So that's one reason why his yards are not as many as they would be. Because he's just probably a little bit more than a game manager, I would say sometimes. But for the most part, he usually just gives it to his playmakers and let them do the work.
Yep, team's full of them.
So to me, our biggest strength on this team is our rushing attack. And that's because we have the best running backs in the National Football League in Christian McCaffrey. That has already ran for 353 yards. And that's just in 3 games. So I just find that awesome. 60 attempts. Says that he's averaging 5.9 yards a carry, which is not bad. He has 3 touchdowns. Then under there is, just everybody else, because we've been giving CMC the rock a whole lot. So he's by a mile ahead of any other running back, because as you guys know, that's the running back that we pretty much been using. And then in receiving, Debo is actually leading in receiving yards. and he looks like he's averaging 14.5 yards a reception. So,
dang, that's almost 15 yards per
right.
reception.
Because of Yak. Because Brock Purdy just gives him the rock and tells him to go, do whatever. That's what happens. And then Kittle's like right behind him. This actually surprised me because I've seen like how little we really seen Kittle. And he's actually had 13 receptions on 139 yards. Now, his longest is 29. So, and that's probably in this last game. Mm-hmm. I bet, in the Giants. And then next, of course, is Ayuk. And he's right behind him. And for 11 receptions for 172 yards. So him and Debo, like they're around the same for the most part. Debo's a little bit more ahead of him because we know Debo just knocks people down and keeps on moving and keeps on going. So it's awesome. But so those are, like, to me, those are our strengths. Is
so
that
all the weapons.
All the weapons. Yeah. And we're very, very deep in our weapons too. And that's what makes this offense so special, is because there's people on this defense or offense that we haven't really got to see shine yet. And we kind of saw Bell, kind of what he can do, but there's other different types of plays and everything that Kyle's not even brought out. Like I had said, I think the overreaction show, I don't think Kyle really brought out his playbook for the Giants game. I think he was just, making it really vanilla, whatever. But we're about to see, the playbook come out and see how special this offense can truly be with these weapons. I will say that the weakness to me has got to be the right side of the O-line. I know it's like beating a dead horse. Everybody's heard that, whatever, but that to me is like the only real weakness that we have on here. McKivitz is already like responsible for 3 sacks, which is not good. And then Burford has allowed a team high of 10 quarterback pressures. So we've definitely got to do something about trying to do something with the right. Somebody had mentioned that maybe before the trade deadline, we may improve that. We'll see. But that's the weakness that I see.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the right. I mean, from the center to the right side.
Mm-hmm.
If you talk about pressures, it's 7, 6, 11. Okay, so it's 7, 6, 11. So Brendo 7 pressures, McKivitz 6 pressures, Burford 11 pressures. All right, so we talk about the pressures. So like that, so pressure just means it's going to be a hurry or whatever, right? But when you talk about sacks, then McKivitz does lead in sacks. Burford has given up 1. So the right side of the offensive line has given up a total of 4 sacks thus far. A total of 4 sacks thus far. So like I get why that right side, but we knew that. We knew coming in to the season that the right side was going to be a work in progress. Like it was going to need some time for those guys to build the continuity and try to, figure it out and gel. And so, I mean, what not a better way to do it? I mean, all right, there's context to week 1's sacks by Burford, because when you line up TJ Watt over a guy like Spencer Burford, it was pretty damn dominant for TJ Watt. But in the second week, when the Rams didn't have a pretty big dominant, outside guy, it didn't happen. He didn't give up any sacks. So his sacks literally came from week 1, and he's improved. So yes, they're the weakest link. I like that, but there's a possibility that they're getting better over time.
I hope so. Absolutely.
And we got to deal with some other guys. Like we go down the list, man. We got there's some guys out there in Arizona. Okay, then we got Michael Parsons in the crew, right? Yep. And then you got Myles Garrett in the crew, right?
Goodness. And he's playing with his hair on fire right now. Like he's out there just he's just out there destroying people.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a mission.
Like, I don't know who pissed him off, but
Right.
I think he was mad that he ain't win Defensive Player of the Year last year. That
Maybe.
whatever.
I think Micah feel the same way.
I-
both of them got a chip on their shoulder.
They got chips on their shoulders, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, great job. Anything else you wanted to add about the offense?
I can't think of anything. That was about it. Just, that we just have weapons for days, and it's awesome that we have weapons for days, and a lot of smart guys on here too. So I'm looking forward to just seeing what happens for the rest of this year if we can just keep it up.
Yeah, I think the key to the offense, other than like just the players being elite, like you said, is just like what they're willing to do without the ball in their hands.
Right.
And so like the blocking, all the intangible stuff that goes unnoticed. And this is why I say things like, this team hasn't played us yet. Like, think about an offense that's going to enforce their will on these defensive players, right? And so, like, teams are, I'm not saying they're scared to play the 49ers, but on offense, they're looking to hit you when they don't have the ball in their hands. So that's wear and tear on a defense, especially throughout a game. You get Jawan Jennings, who was fined $21,000 for that block. That crackback block that he put on week 2 in the Rams game. He got fined for that. But these receivers are out here ready to block. You already saw what Brandon Ayuk did in week 1. You're seeing the unwillingness of these players, like, just, sacrifice their bodies for their teammates to make a big play. So that's something that goes very much so unnoticed. So yeah, the offense, and here's the key to me about the offense. Like, they're still figuring it out. I like Brock Purdy, to me, is being hit with different challenges each and every week. It's like he's playing a video game, and every week he plays a different team. He's on a new level.
Yep.
And you think you're prepared for the new level, you're ready to go, and then they just send out something totally different.
Yes.
And so when the team blitzes 85% of the time,
yeah,
and you figure it out, like, you got, like, Brock. I mean, if he's figuring out the blitz, I mean, what can another team do to Brock? Blitz 90% of the time? Like, what can you what are you gonna give him? What are you gonna do?
Yep.
So I like what we're getting from Brock. I like what we got from our offensive line. I like what we're getting from the playmakers. I think the running game is super strong. Offense looks good. And I still think they have time to figure things out as they go along. If you're telling me that they were calling vanilla plays in a game that they scored 30 points, mind you, the offense has averaged 30 points a game.
Yes.
Literally scored 30 points all 3 games. Literally.
Yep.
Literally.
That's true.
All right, I got the job to talk about special teams. And so special teams, to me, for the 49ers, it may just be the weakest link on the team. When I think about special teams, the Niners, they're just ranked last. I mean, they're ranked last in kickoff as far as the average. When it comes to they're just not a good overall special teams team, but they have players on the special team that sticks out. And if I got to go with weaknesses about the special teams, of course, I'm going to start with the penalties on special teams. Now, this could be due to the injury of Samuel Womack III, who was our gunner. And I feel like the moment he went to IR, the Niners have been trying to replenish that position with the player. And yeah, we got some players like Trey Swillen and these guys coming out there, but they're just making mistakes. They're making mental mistakes, and they're getting these penalties. And unfortunately, it hasn't. But at some point, those penalties can cause the offense to stutter. For example, in the Giants game, all right, the penalty on Trey Swillen, same penalty he got in the Rams game, all right? So the Niners, minus that return, have to start at half of the distance to the goal line. Now, I know the Niners had a plan if they weren't inside their own 5, 6, 7, 8 yard line. But when they get into that, they got to kind of switch up the play calling a little bit. Teams already know they're going to come out and try to run the ball. The Niners, I think, threw 2-3 of those passes on those downs, but it just didn't look good. So that was like a wasted drive to me for the 49ers because of that penalty. Right after that penalty, the Niners had to punt. right? I'm telling the story. For one game, on that punt, you get Shamar John Charles, who's been playing decent all game. You didn't hear his name. You probably didn't even know he was playing. He gets the interference call, which gives the Giants their best starting field position all game.
Yes.
I know they had field goals, but they ain't start. They had to drive to get those.
Yes.
This was on their side of the 50. They were like at the 40-something yard line. And I'm like, oh, man. First play, what happens? Pass interference call. Mismatch, you had Waller on Diamador Lenore. Next play, 1st and 8, touchdown run. So it's those special teams has to be better. Like, special teams has to be better. They have to definitely, I expect those special teams players to be way more disciplined because they're looking for a job. They want to start. They want to get out. Then they better be disciplined and figure it out.
Yep.
The bright spots to special teams are Ronnie Bell, Mitch Wishnowsky, and Jake Moody. Jake Moody might be the best special teams player we've seen in a long time, and I'm not trying to crown him the greatest kicker of all time. But for a rookie to go out there, I'm so glad A.J. Brown dropped that pass. The rookie, listen, Mose, don't you got A.J. Brown?
I don't.
Okay, so that's another league I'm not trying to lose in. So that league got A.J. Brown. But
you talking about the ESPN? You talking about the ESPN league?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm glad AJ Brown dropped it because I don't have AJ Brown. I want them to give it to DeAndre Swift. I have him.
Oh, I'm playing you in that league too.
I think that's the. Oh, are you playing me in both leagues?
I hope not. This is not the
No,
week.
you just playing me in the ESPN league.
Okay, you winning though, right?
No.
Thank you.
I'm down 13.
No Swift. No Swift today. No Swift. That sucks because I got Swift in my sleeper league. Anyway, all I'm saying is Jake Moody's been a bright spot.
I got Mixon, I got Swift, and I got Chase going right now.
Yeah, you got. There's no way I'm gonna lose. There's no way I'm winning. There's no way.
Right now, probability's got me at 60%.
Yeah,
but you got
no
Puka
way.
and Kyron,
and they doing nothing. All right, so guys, Jake Moody hit 9 for 9 on the season, 100%. Kid had one of his kicks that looked like it was going to skew to the left, but it still snuck in. But other than that, I think that is the brightest spot of the special teams. I like Jake Moody kicking kickoffs now. Now you're going to get more touchbacks, less returns. And so now we just got to figure out who's going to be those gunners out there. Like, I feel like that's the key. 2 more weeks for Womack or 3 more weeks for Womack. I can't remember what it is. I know he got put on the IR after week 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's coming back soon.
So he should be coming back soon. It's week 4 this week, right? So after this week, will we get Darrell Luter Jr. from off the PUP?
Yeah. He's coming back too.
So there's some things that can trend upwards. Damn, that 20-3 was just 10-3 with the 20-3. What happened?
I think it hurts to keep scoring these touchdowns so I can make a comeback in this league that I'm not winning in right now.
I don't know. How are you guys feeling about this Eagles matchup that's coming up? We watched the Eagles dismantle the Dallas Cowboys, the red-hot Dallas Cowboys. We watched the Eagles take charge and get rid of them.
You mean the Cardinals?
The Cardinals. We watched the Cardinals take charge and get rid of the Dallas. I knew it was a bird, and get rid of the Dallas Cowboys. They held on to a victory. Mm-hmm. It was a game that came down to Dak Prescott being Dak Prescott.
Right. According to what I've heard, and I watched a lot of national media today, they feel like that Dallas just thought it was just going to be an easy game for them. That they just didn't go in prepared. They were just, trying to just win this little game right here and, keep on pushing. And when they try to collect themselves and they had to force something, that's what caused the interception by Dak, because they had to do too much too quick. They didn't realize, it just got away from them. I guess they don't realize that the other NFL team laces their stuff up just like they do. And
what?
And you can be beat by anyone.
Wait, say what did you say? That they're giving Dak excuses on why he threw the interception? That's what I'm hearing. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
What?
That's all I heard too.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fucking
Like
kidding
I
me?
said, and watching national
they had-
media today, and that's what they're saying. Like
No,
he's getting all
Dak
kinds of
threw the
excuses.
interception because that's what Dak does.
I know.
Like
We
game
know
on
that's
the line.
what Dak
he
does.
he did it last year.
He
did
does
the
it
year
all
before
the
that.
time.
He did it the year before that, and the year before that.
He
and
does
the year he
it
got
all
injured. That was
the
probably an
time.
interception. Like that's what Dak does. Like, are we
Mm-hmm.
seriously? Listen, I hate the Cowboys more than anyone, but don't give them no excuses. How do you not see the defender right in front of you? Where'd you think you were throwing the ball, Dak? He was right there. He wasn't disguised. He wasn't trying to rob the play. He didn't have no space to rob a play. He just was right in Dak's face.
Yes, Callie, they are literally doing that. So all day today for the defensive side, they were basically saying that they were in mourning because of Diggs being out, and that we
Whatever.
should give them time to regroup and get it. I'm like, these are grown ass men playing football. They did. They
have to give
literally
the
are
Cowboys
using that
time.
excuse of their defense. That's what I heard today. Well, we got to understand that, you lose someone like Diggs. The 49ers have lost people, like huge people all the time. Ain't nobody feel sorry for us and tell us nothing like that. Yep.
It's
They're
funny
saying
because
that this defense needs time to regroup and, get their bearings, and they're going to be fine. It was just a fork in the road. They weren't prepared for it. They're fine.
they
All
lost
right,
to
man.
a team tanking.
Right.
Fork my ass. They got beat on the road in Arizona. I don't know what their game plan was, but they got beat. Fair and square, they got beat at the end of the day. Let's talk about Arizona. They're going to be on a high, okay?
Oh,
but they're coming into Santa Clara. They're coming into our home. Brock Purdy whipped that ass last year. I know it's a different quarterback, but what are your thoughts? Like, how are you feeling? Arizona Cardinals are definitely on the high. I'm not trying to overlook this team. There's no way in hell the 49ers lose to these Cardinals.
No. Vegas already has us like on a 14-point advantage anyway.
Is there any way you can check to see what Vegas had the Cowboys at?
I think it was 12. But let me see.
So I don't get betting, but would you bet that 14? That's high.
I mean, they're saying it is actually just 11 because we get the 3 points because it's at home.
Home, yeah.
But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 12. But
12.
Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look it up and I'll let you know.
Well, I mean, even if it was 12, the reason why
13.
I asked that question, because even
was
at 13, so that wait. Dallas had a 13-point favor
Road
on
favorite.
the road.
Mm-hmm. On the road. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So in retrospect, ours is less if we're getting
Right,
the
because
3 points for
we
being
get
home.
3. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, look, I just the Niners have been doing one thing well all season long, and that's taking away the run. And so James Conner had one career game against the 49ers, and that was before I think that was before this defense was literally intact. I don't expect James Conner. He didn't play the last time we played. That's a catch. Oh, he dropped it. Come on, Mike Evans. You got one job. I don't expect James Conner to do what he did against Dallas against the 49ers. Now, the Niners got to play discipline, because you saw in that one play.
Yep.
And that's what they're going to try. The outside zone, they're going to look to do all that type of stuff to the 49ers. I wouldn't be surprised. But you know what the Niners are going to do? They're going to force Josh Dobbs to beat them underneath. They're going to force Josh Dobbs to be accurate with pressure from the side and from the up in front of his face. And they're going to force him to be accurate. And if Josh Dobbs can do that, they may have a chance. If Josh Dobbs can't do that, sayonara, Arizona Cardinals, back to the tank, baby.
Yeah. The one thing that is just a definite 49ers are not overlooking the Cardinals by no means necessary, because one, it's a divisional game, and plus we know how weird the Cardinals, like, it can just be like that. So the 49ers are not overlooking the Cardinals like the Cowboys were. Like, they're just not doing it.
And that makes sense because you said it's a divisional game.
Right.
But it could be one of those hard fought divisional games, just like it was when we played the Rams. But we come out victorious.
All right.
We come out victorious. Any worries before we dip up out of here, Mose? Any worries about that matchup?
I really don't have anything, and I think one of the things that people are missing from that Cardinals Cowboys matchup, although the Cowboys were the better team and more than likely should have won that game, Jonathan Gannon is very familiar with the Cowboys, being that he was the Eagles defensive.
He was the Eagles defensive,
for a couple of years. So
good point.
He's very familiar with that team. So the defensive game plan that he came in there with, plus being very close with Nick Sirianni and head coach and now head coach of the Colts, Shane Steichen, I think he had offensive and a defensive game plan tailored for the Cowboys because he has so much familiarity with them.
Yes.
Now, here's what I will caution him from using past experiences. If you try to implore the same game plan the Philadelphia Eagles did against the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, that would be a poor mistake because you don't have the personnel.
You definitely don't have hardware.
Did in Philly in the NFC Championship game, you don't have the personnel. You don't have Hargrave. Right. You don't have John Reddick. You don't have Brandon Graham. You don't have Jordan Davis. You don't have Darius Slay, James Bradbury. You don't have the personnel to do that. So that's why I'm not worried, because I feel like this past game will give Jonathan Gannon some false confidence that he can go in with previous experience and try to deploy a similar game plan. That might work against the Cowboys because you have so much experience, but you really only have about a week of experience preparing for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
And if you try to deploy that same game for the NFC Championship game, I don't think that's going to work for you because you don't have the personnel. But that being said, I know this team, Kyle, Steve Wilkes, I know, like you said, we're not overlooking this team. We are going to be prepared. And one of the things that we've shown over the first 3 weeks that we are able to do really, really well is make adjustments. So I think we'll be fine.
So one thing about this game, Steve Wilkes has a couple of irons in his fire that I'm sure that he's going to want to show out that defense. Oh, yeah. And so what happened to him in Arizona? How he was just like a one hit a quitter, or however you say that.
And they tried to throw him under the bus.
Yes, and they tried to put it all on him.
Yo.
So and now he gonna have some fun with this.
It's not fair.
Ooh. So
y'all
somebody
replace me with this boy. He's not even there.
Yo. It's gonna be a Hufanga blitz sack. There's gonna be a Fred Warner blitz sack. There's gonna be some sacks coming. Listen, great point to bring up, Peachy. I didn't even think about that. It's one of the reasons why I love having you here. Look, I just from a football perspective, y'all, I just think the 49ers are gonna be well prepared to take down the team they've owned the past couple of seasons. Yep. And look, I know it was tough against the Rams, but Josh Dobbs is no Matthew Stafford. Okay? Nope. He's no Matthew Stafford. I'll leave it at that. So am I worried? No. But the Niners still got to be on their A game. They got to bring their A game, and they got to execute. And when the Niners execute, it's almost impossible to defeat that team.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the Niners thing. The Niners just have to come out, execute, and they will do just fine against Jonathan Gannon and these daggone Cardinals. But congratulations to the Cardinals. Thank you so much for knocking the Dallas Cowboys on their patooties.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate that, because apparently listening to their pressers is what they needed. And that the media was the one that had Dallas feeling like they were, according to Dak Prescott, he said that it's the media's fault because the media was the one that put them on this pedestal.
Man, they didn't say that, did they?
That's what Dak said in his presser.
Everybody said like y'all all.
Just eat it, bro. Matter of fact, oh my God, yo, they better be lucky. Let me tell you, nobody's talking about this. They better be lucky Trayvon Diggs isn't on that team right now. Like, remember when Trayvon Diggs was about to bust Dak's ass at practice this training camp?
Yes.
Yep.
And they was talking mad trash.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, they better be lucky.
Oh, that man a female dog to his face twice.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yep.
Dak, and you want to know why? Because of what Dak did at the end of the game.
Right. It's because of that. He was probably like, this.
And I'm so glad. And he was at the Buffalo Bills game because his son was at the Buffalo Bills game. I think his son was at one of the games. No, the son was at this game. So Trayvon Diggs was there because I think his son was catching passes on the field.
Yeah, because he had, because he picked him up for hundreds, whatever. I'm sure he was just like it. But so what he did, but the fact that like you just can't suck this up. It just has to be like you gotta blame somebody. Like blame yourself. Like you did it.
Take accountability. Right.
Right. Take accountability. Don't be like, oh, the media was the one that had us, like all hyped up. Y'all the one that put us there. Like we knew that we had problems and all this stuff, and you guys, whatever, man.
Listen, I'm excited. Niners are 3-0, on their way to 4-0. I think the Niners are going to be just fine heading into that week of Dallas. A lot of things coming up. Listen, if you want details of the video shoot that we're going to be shooting out in California next weekend, all right, you can go to the website. You can go to www.twben. Matter of fact, let me put it in here right now. Now, check this out. The first 49 people that RSVP to be at the video shoot and in the video will get a free Faithful to the Bay rally towel, all right? So I'll be handing those out. We'll be handing those out as a group. So it's twben.com/RSVP, all right? You guys can go there, click on that link. If you're going to be out there and you want to get up at 9 a.m., we're going to be out there at 9 a.m., early in the morning. Get it done. What I say?
9 a.m.
It's early. That way we ain't got to clear. We don't need no permits. It's before businesses start. Trust me, I'm on it. Yo. I'm from the East Coast. I know how to get the deal going. So there it is. twben.com. Shoe Palace. Yes.
Come on, dog. You trying to get me to spend money?
No. Before the store open, bro, because I ain't trying to spend no money neither. But we're going to shoot the video outside of the Deebo Samuel mural out there. All right. And so it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. And then hopefully I'll have a special treat for everybody that comes out there. We're going to have some fun. Yes. Got the team on deck. So, guys, go ahead and check that out, man. And I'll be putting it out there. We got the promo videos that it's going to be going down. And then we're going to be partying with Travis King from 12 to 4. We're going to go to his event, rock out. And then we got the night to ourselves to get ready for Sunday Night Football. All right.
Yes, sir.
49ers Rush will take over on Sunday. Final thoughts, guys. Let's get on up out of here, man.
It was a great show.
Hey, man.
Go ahead.
Look, you got it.
I was just going to say it was a great show. Thank all you guys for checking this out. We have a lot of fun things that are going to be coming up. That video is going to be really huge and really special. So if you guys are going to be in the area, get your butt up and get up there too. To that event, because that's gonna be one of those it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. I'm really jelly because I can't go, but that's okay. It's all right. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait to see it when it's done.
Ooh, that's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. Mose, final thoughts. Let's get up out of here, baby.
Love and appreciate y'all, man. for tuning in, as always. If you don't have it, I mean, I don't know why. From my numbers, it looks like 78 people are in here right now. So all 78 of you, or whatever your preferred music streaming services, whether that's Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your songs at, Faithful to the Bay by Wayne Breezy, Lake City Friend, Travis King should be in your rotation. If it's not, go get it. You got the link in the bio.
The link is in the bio.
Somewhere
Yes.
in the video.
Yes, sir.
It's in there.
The link for iTunes, Spotify, and Apple Music is in the bio.
Go get it. Just go get it. Show love. Like PG said, if you're going to be out there, show it to people. Sis, we're going to miss you. So bad you cannot be there. But we are going to hold it down for you. So I'm going to be out there. Bree's going to be out there. It's going to be a great time. We got the Cardinals first.
I'm gonna give you a picture you can hold up.
I'm
do on the memory.
Remember the COVID season? They was putting the cardboard cutout.
Exactly.
We got to get a cardboard cutout of Peachy, and I would just have it on the side, and I would just be rocking with the cardboard cutout until she in the video. So we got to make sure we make that happen. But again, love, appreciate y'all. We're not overlooking the Cardinals. Let's get to this Cardinals week. Let's get through this week 4-0, and then Sunday night against Dallas. You know, we made against what people are calling our first real test of the season. But you know, we are tested, and we are growing every week. So we started fast like we wanted to, and let's just keep this train rolling.
I love it, man. Y'all stay up, man. Stay faithful out there. Lots of shows going on this week. We got the NFL show tomorrow. We got What's Your Fantasy. We got Mose and I got Pigskin Picks. It's a bunch of shows going on right here on the channel, man. Make sure your alerts are set to all. Make sure you're locked in right here on the Wayne Breezy channel. We love y'all. Stay up, stay faithful, and always keep it nitty gritty, y'all. Peace out.
Hey,
Breezy, gritty, this that 9
Mose knows. PG.
What happens, I always forget that there's a contribution in here, and I keep forgetting because I need to put it up the moment I see it because I get sidetracked. But Sean Foghorn, Super Chat contribution. Did you see that Dak landed the starring role next to Garcakalo in Step Brothers 3? They love it.
Now that would be
I would go see that, though.
I would pay like all the money it costs to go to movies now.
Sean,
I would pay to go see
we would go to the movies to see this joint, bro. Like, real talk.
That's so perfect.
Also, the Going Home series, Trailer Park Brothers, Dak owns the park now. He's just,
Lord.
you know, I'm not going to talk about him until we play him, but Dak is just going to be Dak. I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Sean, for making us laugh at the end. I love you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Until the next time, now we out for sure. Peace.
Hey,
Breezy, gritty, this that 9
Mose knows. PG, it's about that time. Everybody turn your TVs on. The Mose knows Peachy, Breezy, and fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorillas, silverback, 9 silver
You know it's
hawks.
busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time, you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mose, knows and fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, this the line is tall.